Hey everyone, welcome to class. For today, we're going to be moving through a shorter class, but a little bit of challenge today. So you will need one or two blocks and a strap. You won't need them right away, so you can take them aside. And we'll begin in a comfortable seat. You can sit on a block or a blanket if you wish. Just get nice and comfortable. We're going to start with Nadi Shodhana breath work or alternate nostril breathing. If you're not already familiar with this breath, I will guide you through it here. So we'll begin with our right hand. Our thumb is going to be placed on our right nostril. Our ring finger is going to be placed on our left nostril. And then our middle and index finger is going to be placed on the third eye on the forehead here, kind of as an anchor. So to begin, we're going to be taking some nice deep breaths with this. So we'll bring our index and middle finger to the middle of our forehead at our third eye, between our eyebrows. We'll begin by closing the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale nice and deep through the left. Close both nostrils and hold for a moment. Then release the thumb, exhaling through the right nostril. So we'll do this about 5 rounds. If you're congested, you can just do the motions, but breathe through the mouth. Okay, if you do have any dizziness, lightheadedness, just resume your natural breathing. We don't have to be doing this if you feel the dizziness. All right, so closing that right nostril. Inhale nice and deep through the left when you're ready. Close and hold for just a moment. Release the right nostril. Exhale. Inhale through the right nostril. Hold. Release the left. Exhale. Do this at your own pace with your own breath here. Inhaling through the left. Hold. Exhale through the right. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale through the right. Hold. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold. Exhale through the right. 2 more times. Inhaling through the right. Hold. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold. Exhale through the right. Last time. Inhale through the right. Hold. Exhaling through the left. Let your right hand come down to your thigh or knee, resuming your natural breath. Feeling this energy that you've created. Maybe a little bit of buzzing in the head. Maybe feeling a little bit more oxygen in the body, lighter, more energized or balanced. When you're ready, we'll open the eyes. We are going to start with some side stretches and then move into some wrist and forearm warm up, neck and shoulder. So inhale the arms up and over. Exhale that right hand down to the mat. Left arm up and over. Both of your hips are anchored into the mat. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, left hand to the mat, right arm up and over. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, up to center. One more time each way. Exhale, right hand to the mat, left arm up and over. Take one round of breath here. Inhale as you come through. Exhaling as you bring the left hand down to the mat. Side stretch on the right. Both hips are still anchored into the mat here. One full round of breath. Inhale up. Exhale, float the arms back down. All right, so we're going to take our hands down towards the mat, but we're going to flip our fingertips back towards us. So your palms are faced away, going towards the mat. Your forearms are facing kind of like in front of you or away from you. So you might not get super far. You may just have kind of like the fingers on the floor. The goal is to have the thumbs out, so you don't want the thumbs curled. You want them straight out. So we don't want them curled, we want them straight. Getting a nice stretch in through the forearms. You might have your elbows bent. You might have them straight. If that doesn't feel good coming all the way down to the mat, you can grab your blocks. And you'll have a little bit more height here, so you don't have to fold forward as much if your hips are tight. Or if you don't want to go so far forward. And you can alternate, maybe moving left and right. Very carefully, slowly come back up, shake out the wrists. And you can move your blocks aside here. We'll go ahead and take the right hand to the low back, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. So the right shoulder is anchored down as we stretch the right side of the neck into the shoulder here. Breathe. Inhale, come back up to center. Release that right hand. Left hand comes towards the low back, dropping right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathing. Inhale, come back up to center. Drop the chin towards the chest. Inhale up towards the ceiling, opening up the front of the throat. Exhale, come back to center. Good. All right. So we are going to come onto our backs. You can grab your strap. There it is. So go onto your backs, grab your strap. Just going to lengthen the hamstrings and the calves here, warming up. So go ahead and lasso the right foot, kind of like the sole of the foot with the strap here. And then straighten that right leg. You'll start to draw the foot down towards you. So the knee is almost coming in towards the chest. It's okay to have like a little bend here. And we're still warming up. This is the first stretch here in our class in the lower body. So we probably won't go very far. Make sure you're breathing here, keeping the low back on the mat. We're not popping up here. Kind of like in our forward fold, we want to be having that hinge at the hip, right? Rather than in the low back. Good, and then we're going to take both parts of our strap into our right hand, and we're going to slowly open up this right hip, taking the right leg straight out, keeping it as straight as possible. You can keep a little bend here. You're going to feel a little stretch on the inner right thigh. Make sure both of your hips are still anchored into the mat, so this left knee might come out to the left just a little bit to kind of keep them anchored. Inhale, bring it back in. You can go ahead, bend that right knee, let go of the strap. And same thing on the left side. Lasso that left foot towards like the sole of the foot here. Straighten the left leg as much as possible. You can keep a little bend here if you need. Start to draw the leg in towards you. Again, we probably won't be going very far here since we're just starting. You don't want to feel any tingling or numbness. If you do, you've gone too far. So then you can back off a little bit. I know for me, the hamstrings get so tight. So some days I'm like out here. That's like the furthest I can go. So, and I've been doing this for over a decade. It just depends what we're doing with our body, right? All right. Take both parts of the strap in your left hand. Start to open up that left hip. I don't have much room over here, so I'm going to scoot over. Again, using that right leg as almost a counterweight if your right hip starts to like kind of pop off the mat. Inhale, come back to center, bend the left knee, let go of that strap there. Stay there for a moment. I'm going to check my notes, see where we're at here. Okay, yes. So we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you can roll off to one side. Come on up. We're going to turn over on our mat here into a tabletop position. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to tuck our toes. We're going to push into our toes, lifting our hips up and pushing them back, keeping a nice bend in the knees here to start. Maybe walk your dog out by bending the right knee deeply, straightening that left leg, and then switching, straightening the right leg, bending the left knee deeply. Walking out our dog, pedaling out our dog, however you want to say it. We don't want to have any curvature in the spine. So if you do, make sure you're bending your knees. Again, still warming up. Eventually come to stillness. Inhale, look up towards your hands. Option, you can come up onto your toes and walk your feet behind the wrists. If that doesn't feel good, you can just go ahead, take a step into the middle, come up to stand, and then walk towards the front of your mat and come into a forward fold. Either way, I'll be meeting you in your forward fold here. Again, you can bend your knees if you need. One full breath in and out. Inhale, straighten the back, lift halfway here. So nice straight spine. You can come up onto your shins or your thighs if you need. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way slowly up to Tadasana, mountain pose, arms come up, palms come together. Exhale, thumbs to heart. All right, so we're going to grab our strap. If you don't have a strap, you can get like a belt or a scarf, and we're going to make a loop with our strap so that it's about the width like of your shoulders where the loop's going to be. So if you like measure it, bring it in through here, kind of bring it above the elbows and your upper arms. It should be about the width of your shoulders there. If you have some of this extra belt, that's okay. You can just kind of roll it up and hold on to it. So this little exercise here is we're looking when we come into upward salute, and I'll show you later why we're doing this. I'm not just doing this just to do it. It's a little exercise here. And you know what, actually I want the strap on your forearms, below the elbow, I'm sorry. So we bring our arms up, okay? I'm gonna come down kneeling so you can see. When we're in like an upward salute or we're coming up, we want to keep the elbows as straight as possible. So this is just like a nice little exercise rather than like having them bent here. You can kind of keep that tension on the strap to kind of feel where your hand should be. And this is, you know, we practice how is comfortable. There's no rigidity in this practice. This is just giving you an idea if you're looking to maybe work on shoulder mobility or lengthening, that sort of thing. This is a good exercise to have so that you can feel like, oh, wow, you know, with my elbows straight like this or my arms completely straight, I might only be out to here rather than all the way up here with my elbows bent, right? So that's like, and you know, you can kind of play with that. Another thing is you don't want to be flaring the chest out. You want to keep those lower ribs knitted in. So engage that core and see how that changed from my arms being like the same placement of my ear to when I knitted it in, they came forward just a little bit. And that's just my limitation or my limit for my shoulder. I am pretty tight from working out too. So again, there's different factors that go into that. Just a simple little thing I wanted to show you if you're practicing, you know, getting your arms kind of like in line with your ear and shoulder. So anywho, all right, so we're gonna come into our standing poses here. So we're gonna come into triangle pose, and you're gonna grab one block, have it towards the front of your mat within arm's reach, and we're gonna start on the left side. So come to the front of your mat, take your right leg, your foot, step it back as far back as you can, and we're gonna swivel so that our right foot is parallel to the back of our mat, kind of like we're coming into warrior two. Our left toes are pointing towards the front of our mat, but we're straightening both legs. So we have this triangle shape. Our arms are gonna come out to a T, and our left heel should be in line with our right arch of our foot, okay? If you need to, you can kind of wiggle it, adjust it however you need. We're gonna look down the left arm, and then we're gonna start to reach our left arm out, pushing our right hip back. And then once you go as far as you can, you're going to tip it over, start to come down. You may just be here on your thigh. You may take your hand to your shin. Do not place your hand on your knee, okay? We want to protect the knee. Maybe you reach for your block on level 3 or level 2. Again, we're warming up, okay? So we might not be super far. We want to have this nice straight angle in the spine here. We don't want to be down like this and twisting, okay? This is too much for me. So that's why I like to have my block. And even right now, that's pretty tight. Our shoulders are stacked on top of each other. We're breathing, feeling a nice stretch in the obliques. Go ahead and bend the left knee. Start to stand up again. You can move your block out of the way. We're going to windmill the hands around, framing the left foot, swiveling onto the balls of our right foot, okay? And we're going to ground into our hands, and we're going to wiggle that left foot all the way back into a downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. An option to walk your feet behind the wrists or come to stand and walk to the top of your mat. I will meet you in a forward fold here. And then inhale, come all the way back up to Tadasana, mountain pose. We'll do the same thing on the right side. So you might want to move your block in arms reach. Step the left foot all the way back. You're going to swivel that left foot to be parallel with the back of your mat. Right toes are pointing towards the top of your mat. Straighten both legs. Arms come out to a T. Look down that right hand. Start to tilt over, reaching your right arm forward towards the front of your mat as far as you can, pushing that left hip back. Eventually, you'll start to tilt over, maybe coming to the thigh. And you can keep a little bend in your knee if you need. But we want to have that nice long angle here in the side body. Reach for your shin or your block, whatever feels comfortable. Shoulders are stacked. So your left shoulder is stacked directly over your right shoulder here, in line with that left arm and right arm, making one straight line. Breathe. Exhale, bend that right knee. Move the block out of the way. Come back up to a warrior two. Windmill those hands to frame the right foot. Ground through your hands. Start to wiggle that right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Look up towards your hands. You can step or walk up. Forward fold. Inhale. Up to mountain pose. All right, so we are going to do that again on each side, adding on. So we're going to come into triangle again on the left. Stepping our right foot all the way back. Right foot's parallel to the back of our mat. Open it up, straighten both of your legs. Look down that left arm. Reach your left arm forward. Tip it over. Grab wherever's comfortable here. Right arm is straight up. Shoulders are stacked. Breathe. Something a little different. You're going to exhale, bend that left knee deeply. You want the left knee to stay behind or directly over top of that left ankle. You don't want the knee coming too far forward. All right. Take that right arm up and over for a side body stretch. Extended side angle. Inhale, start to come back up. Windmill your hands around to frame the left foot. Move your block out of the way. Step it back, downward facing dog. So we're moving through this a little faster here. Pay attention, something a little different. Come up onto your toes. Take the right knee in towards your chest and start to shift it forward a little bit and see if you can land that right foot between your hands. If you're back here, just help your foot forward a little bit. All right. Start to come up, finding your balance. Swivel that left foot to be parallel to the back of your mat. Straighten both legs, getting ready for triangle pose. Reach that right hand forward. Tip it over. Grab your block if you need. Maybe you take it down a little lower. Breathe. Exhale, bend that right knee deeply, keeping it behind or just over the right ankle. Left arm comes up and over for extended side angle. Breathe. Inhale, come up to your warrior two for a second. Move your block out of the way. Windmill the hands to frame the right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Take one full breath in and out. Look up towards your hands. walk or step up to forward fold. Inhaling, coming to Tadasana. Good. All right, so we're gonna set up for Warrior One, and this is where it will start to get into our peak pose here, starting to prep for that. So we're gonna step our right foot all the way back. This time we're keeping our left knee bent and our right foot is at a 45-degree angle, okay? And again, left knee is a little bit behind the left ankle or just directly over. We don't want the knee to be too far forward here. Both of our hips are facing forward here. Arms can come up. Remember our strap exercise here. So we don't want the chest to be flared, keeping it tucked in there, engaging the core. Good. So from here, we're going to find a little bit of balance, keeping your arms straight like we did with the strap. I want you to start to tilt your upper body, hinging at the hip here like we do in forward fold. Stay grounded and strong through both feet. So maybe you come at an angle here, and this is about as far as you can go. Maybe you take it a little further, starting to bring the chest parallel to that left thigh, or close to parallel. Stay strong, breathe in, breathe out, come back up, hands to heart. Good. We'll do that one more time. Bring our arms up and over. Slowly start to tilt forward, hinging at that hip, coming into our humble warrior. See how far you can go, staying strong in the lower body, pushing out through both feet. Inhale, exhale, come back up. Let your arms come down, shake it out a little bit. Good. Go ahead, step it forward to Tadasana. Shake it out a little bit. All right, same thing on the other side. Left foot steps all the way back. Left foot is a 45-degree angle, right knee bent. Hips are facing forward, arms come up and over. Warrior One. Check in with those ribs. Make sure you're not flaring forward just to get your arms back. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to hinge forward. See how far you can go. Breathe. Inhale, come back up. Float the hands down, shake it out, shake it out. Doing a lot with the shoulders. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, start to tilt forward into humble warrior here, staying strong through your feet, pushing out through your feet here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, come back up, shake it out. Step it back up to your mountain pose. Shake it out a little bit. So we're really working the lower body here. All right, so coming into a standing balance, I'll walk you through some options. If you're still working on your balance, you can have the option of just working on your tree pose. So your feet are hip distance apart. You lean into either left or right leg, and then bring that opposite foot in towards your calf or your thigh. You can work on tree pose, okay, for your balance. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. Starting at the top of your mat in mountain pose, we're gonna step the right foot back again, coming into our Warrior One. This time, so from Warrior One, we have this pretty big stance here. I want you to step the right foot in like halfway, okay? So we're like in a little warrior, a mini warrior. We're gonna go ahead and lift all of our toes up, spread them far apart, and then put them back down. Nice strong base. All right. Make sure you have room in front of you. So I have a wall kind of close to me that I'm gonna step back a bit, back into my mini warrior. So plenty of space in front of you where you can fling your arms. We're not gonna be flinging. We're going to be going very slow, so don't worry. So we're gonna go ahead and start to tilt forward. So we'll bring our arms up and over, tilt forward like we were in our humble warrior. Lean all of your weight though into your left foot, finding that balance, and then see if you can bring that right leg, keeping it straight, up. Kind of finding this like, it's a balancing act. It really is. So you're finding that balance between your upper body and your right leg to keep yourself up. Okay, leaning forward, slowly starting to bring all the weight into the left foot. Maybe you just stay here on your right toes and you play with kind of just gently lifting up your right toes. You can do that. Or if you want, keeping the left leg straight, like we're in Tadasana, start to bring it forward, engage through that right glute. Ooh, my balance is not good today in that. Again, I worked out yesterday, so lower body is not having it. But here, you just play around with it. See how far you go. Make sure you have a wall beside you if your balance is not very good today. You can even hold on to the wall and practice being in this warrior. So this is warrior 3. 3 warriors and a mini warrior. When you're ready, come back down, step back up to your mat, shake it out. We'll do that on the other side whenever you're ready. So make sure you have plenty of space in front of you. Again, step your left foot far back into warrior 1 to start. You have this wide stance here. Step it in halfway. Mini warrior. I just came up with something new. Mini warrior. That's what we're going to call it for now. Inhale your arms up. Start to shift your upper body forward like we're coming into humble warrior. And then we're going to put all of our weight into our right foot. Start to come off of that left heel. Again, you can play here with just staying on your left toes and maybe bringing them up slightly. Or you can start to straighten that right leg and start playing with the balance here and see how far you can go. Woo! Probably hear my left heel clicking. So keeping that right leg straight, tilting it forward. There's a good warrior 3. You can see the teacher struggling. It's a lot on the lower body. When you're ready, come back up to mountain pose. Hands are at heart center. Take a few breaths. Good. We're going to come down to our mat. We're going to start to cool down here a bit. Take a drink of water if you need. All right, so we're going to bring our legs straight out in front of us here. We're just going to do a simple forward fold. So go ahead and inhale your arms up and over. Exhale, hinge at the hips. You can grab for your shins, your ankles, feet. Just let your feet be relaxed and you can actually just kind of round into this. Just a nice restorative forward fold. Good. Come back up. We'll scooch our bottom forward just a bit on our mat. Come to lie on our backs. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Giving ourselves a little squeeze. We're going to take supine twist. So our legs are coming to 90 degrees here. We're going to shift our hips over towards the right very slightly, just so our hips stay nice and stacked. We'll inhale, exhale, dip the knees over towards the left here. A little adjustment is fine. If you have any low back issues, I just want you to keep hugging your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you just bring the right knee in and take the right knee over slightly towards the left shoulder. Poe's gonna come say hi because he knows it's about to be Shavasana. He loves his nap time. So take either supine twist here or your right knee in. You can take your arms out to a T and look in either direction. Just make sure you can breathe deeply. See, he knows. He knows. All right, inhale, come back to center, reset. Legs that are 90-degree angle. This time you can either just draw your left knee in, bringing it over towards your right shoulder, or you can go ahead, shift your hips off to the left slightly. Inhale, exhale, draw those knees over towards the right for a supine twist. You can take your arms out to a T, looking in either direction. Maybe you have your cat or dog nearby, getting ready for Shavasana too. Comment and let me know if you do. I'd love to know. Make sure you can breathe deeply here. Inhale, come back to center. Reset, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Take the knees wide. Reach for the inside of your legs, grabbing the ankles or the inside or outside of your feet. Folded baby. Maybe you take your feet over your knees, keeping the low back in the mat for a happy baby. You can rock side to side, little rocks. Or stay in stillness. Exhale, feet together, knees together, and then start to set up for your Shavasana. You can grab a blanket, cover up, put a blanket under your head for a pillow or under your knees. Maybe you move your hair clip out of your head so it's more comfortable. You can keep your knees bent here, feet come as wide as the mat, knees fold in towards each other, or you can take your legs straight out. Arms can come out to the side, on your belly, whatever feels good here. Start to come back into your breath. Shavasana, our final rest, is where we integrate our entire practice together, feeling the energy that we've created. Today we worked on creating more balance both in the body and the mind. How can we stay balanced mentally and emotionally when we are physically going through challenges? How can we center ourselves when working through something that seems almost impossible in the moment? That's the beauty of yoga. It's not just on the mat. We take it outside of the studio, outside of the classroom. We integrate it with our lives. We'll stay here for a couple more minutes. I'll give you some room just to have your final meditation. Start to deepen the breath a little bit. Starting to bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room. If your cat or dog is next to you, give them a little pet. Bring some sense of touch back in. If you don't, maybe you gently just graze your fingertips on your clothing, feel the texture there. Eventually drawing the knees in towards the chest, rolling onto one side in a fetal position. Stay here for a moment, keeping the eyes closed. Being reborn, a different version of yourself today. Eventually press up to a comfortable seat. I invite you to keep your eyes closed once you get there if that feels safe to you. And we'll seal in our practice here, inhaling our arms up and over. Hands come together, exhaling the thumbs down to the heart center. If it's within your practice, namaste. Otherwise, thank you so much for practicing with me today.